Time now for a game of Would You Rather? Would you rather trade, if you're the Patriots, for Trey Hendrickson or Terry McLaurin? Time on the clock. Do, 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 do. Kasey, the answer's in, and it's...
Oh. I'm so selfish. I want both. I want both. But if
you had to pick one.
If one really had to choose, it comes down to, if we're committing to this rebuild conversation, then you've got young talent that basically you don't have to go crazy and add McLaurin. But even though we talk about the veteran presence, how he'll level up the offense immediately, if you're going rebuild and you have a defense that is just a complete wrecking ball to go against.
Looks like it.
You know what I mean? And then think of the timetable career-wise on both of these guys. You can be one of the most formidable defenses for a couple of years while you allow young talent on the offense to get their legs underneath them. But because of the expectation and the conversations around the Patriots, I would go McLaurin. Yeah.
You took me for a loop there. I thought you were going to go
I know,
Hendrickson.
I took you all the way around the
essentially,
neighborhood.
if I'm hearing you,
Yeah.
it's because you like where the defense is already.
Yes. I like where their defense.
You like Trey Hendrickson,
We're
but
talking more confidently about the defense than we are the offense.
Okay.
And then you have a team that's now dancing on the conversation of 7 to 9 wins. Some people losing it, talking about 11. In order for any of that to become reality, you got to minimize what this wide receiving room could be. You got to make that a solvable conversation.
Right.
So bring in McLaurin, veteran presence, deep threat. You don't really have the reliability of calling anyone a deep threat. Somebody who's got good route running, who can really help and speak to the progress of Drake May, because look what he did with a young quarterback in Washington, D.C. So that's what I mean by, like, if we're really going to do this whole we're retooling versus rebuilding, it's McLaurin. If we're rebuilding, get the wrecking ball in Hendrickson.
Well, listen, there's drama surrounding both. Let's get into that. We'll start with Trey Hendrickson, because the Bengals are an unserious organization. Diana Rossini has a tweet here. Like, they are so unserious in that this guy has literally said, I'm willing to take less to make this work. So here it is. Just spoke the Bengals pass rusher, Trey Hendrickson, who's currently in Jacksonville, Florida in the house for the last 30 days, and has been in his home in Cincinnati in training. As camp approached, he and his wife decided to dip out. They received 2 different offers in a 24-hour span, none containing the guarantees past the first year he was looking for. Listen to this case. Hendrickson didn't want to hear the practice whistles while being a distraction to his teammates, so he and his wife, Alyssa, decided to pack up and head to Florida. Down in Jacksonville, Hendrickson continues to train, hoping that a deal can be worked out. Here's a part that sends me, quote, I was more than willing to take less in some ways in order to make this work. Kasey, this is a Bengals defense that is a sieve. They are atrocious. They have given all their money to offensive players, okay? They don't have any money left. This dude's telling you your best defensive player, arguably the best in the league the last few years, certainly the most productive, certainly the most available, okay? He doesn't get hurt. He's durable. This guy's telling you, I'm willing to take less to stay here. Give me what you got. And they still can't make it work.
You know what we're doing, though? We're asking the Bengals to make sense. And when is the last time the Bengals made sense? This should have been an easy lock-in. Since halfway through last season, you should have already had the numbers and been agreeable, because you're talking about an offense that you invested in that, they put up the points. They loaded up on the points. They couldn't protect the points ever, never, ever. And that's so frustrating for an offense when they're putting in that much work and they're not being able to be protected on the defensive side of the ball. One guy who was able to somewhat keep it interesting is Hendrickson.
That's all they had.
And you're talking about somebody who, if you're putting him in the category of like, hey, maybe because of age and this and time, no, it doesn't make sense, because Myles Garrett got paid at 29 years old. TJ Watt just landed the bag at 30 years old. And you're talking about a pillar on your defense who needs help. And for somebody who's been the only guy functioning on this defense,
the only one.
The durability.
The only
one. We're not
one.
hearing about injuries. We're not hearing about him missing a bunch of time. He is still sitting top of the charts when it comes to numbers and statistics. And the sack column, like getting to the quarterback so consistently over and over again. This is something that should have already been sorted out, not doing this weird dance. And then, of course, he feels wounded and disrespected.
Of course he should.
You go grab other draft picks on the defensive side of the ball, and you're basically over here like, maybe we just need to do a whole fresh take when it comes to defense. If that's your method, go for it. But they should have been honest in where they were going with this, rather than dragging out this entire conversation with the guy and making it seem like he's not worth the pennies. He's worth every penny, dollar bill, $100 bills, and more, because he's the only reason you guys have been able to stay and have a pulse in anything.
You know, it's funny, you bring up drafting defense. The kid they drafted in the first round, Shamar Stewart,
Yeah.
they still haven't paid him. He's like, bro,
Well,
you guys
said it.
aren't
What
giving
money?
me that. There's no money.
Yeah.
They are a mess. I think they made a big mistake not trading Trey Hendrickson on draft night.
Yeah.
And I was saying then, not that the Patriots should move any of their picks per se, but I thought the Patriots should have got involved that night. Because I just feel like that guy was there for the taking on draft night. Maybe you could move around some draft assets here or there, and you get him in at a bargain. Now, you can absolutely hold the Bengals' feet to the fire because what leg do they have to stand on? The season starts in 5 minutes. This guy still isn't under contract. You can't afford him.
Yeah.
He already said, listen, I don't know everything about business, but I know enough. When someone tells you, I'll take a little bit less to stay, and you can't pony up, you've already lost him. What are you going to do now? Come back with less than what he agreed to? I'll take a little less. Now you're going to come back with, you're going to lose this guy. It's not going to work. You should trade him and just get what you get.
Yeah.
If you get a bag of balls, a Code Red Mountain Dew, and some Cape Cod chips, that's your fault, not his. That's not his problem. So I say all that to say, my answer is New England, get on the phone. Get Trey Hendrickson here. I hear you.
So that's your pick?
Yes.
Okay.
And I hear you with, listen, like, I think you're right. I think from team need, Terry McLaurin fits a need more. And we'll get into his drama in a second.
Right.
But Trey Hendrickson, I think my greed's taking over because, A, the Patriots can afford him, okay, because he wants to get paid. Pay him whatever he wants.
He plays that hard-nosed football that
Yes.
he's going to be
He's a
able
Vrabel-
to thrive under. He's
That's
a
where
Vrabel
I'm
guy.
going.
Yeah, Vrabel
That's
guy.
where I'm going.
Yeah.
You can afford both technically, but you can pay
That's
this
why
guy.
I said I'm
I
selfish.
know, me too.
Exactly.
You can afford both. He's a Vrabel. He fits everything. Fits
Yeah.
culture. Check every box. Boom, 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 boom. But here's where now I say my greed gets involved. I think you can get him for pennies on the dollar now in terms of trade capital.
Right.
Because what choice do the Bengals have? They're so moronic. They blew this whole thing. Now you call up and you say, look, I'll give you this, a fourth round and that.
Yeah.
They have to do it. So I would trade for Trey Hendrickson, and I think him on this defense, to your point, oh, now you're cooking with gas.
Yeah.
That will take you over the top. This defense, we think, is going to be pretty good. You get a Trey Hendrickson, you are elite on the defensive end. No debate.
Well, because then look at strength of schedule. You're looking at teams that they can easily flex from being better defensively versus having too much expectation from the offense. I mean, they open up what versus the
get into it
Raiders?
here.
Yeah.
At home against the Raiders, you go to Miami, home against Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers, home against Carolina. I mean, that's just the first month. Yeah, like
So,
this is it. And then obviously the
Raiders
rest.
quarterback completely being
A mess.
on the grass.
Tua concussed.
There you go.
Rodgers on acid. Do we even know if Bryce Young's any good in Carolina? We don't know.
But can he be shaken up by a guy like Hendrickson? Absolutely.
By the way, Tyler Shuck is on this schedule.
Shake him up.
Cam Ward, a rookie's on this schedule.
Shake 'em
Whoever's
up.
playing quarterback for Cleveland's on this schedule. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, I would go get Trey Hendrickson, but let's get into Terry McLaurin's drama
Right.
because here we go with him, too. Now, I think the asking price, trade-wise, because the Commanders are a well-run organization now, I think it's going to be harder to get a Terry McLaurin. And remember, you have to pay him.
Right.
I have to bring that up. The Patriots have the money, but we have to discuss that. These guys want to get paid. That's why there's drama.
Exactly.
So, Shefty tweeted about this and Rappaport tweeted about this. It is official now. Terry McLaurin is holding out. He did not report to training camp. He's not present for any conditioning test. He ain't showing up. Don't call my phone unless it's about the money. So this is another one where now the Commanders are in a different place than the Bengals in that they are a serious franchise, which is why I'd rather take advantage of the Bengals and go get Trey Hendrickson for cheaper.
Yeah.
But Terry does help this team more, I think.
Again, it just
It's more of a
depends on
need.
what the goal actually is. Because
Yeah.
what I will say, and I don't want to seem like I'm contradicting my previous statement here, but what I will say is you're not hearing Hendrickson being in the category of I'm going for a contending team. I want to contend. I want to contend. There's so many question marks around what the Bengals are potentially going to do, and if they'll make it back to a postseason. He just wanted to be a part of an organization and feel that respect. So that will change the money, and that will change becomes a negotiation tactic. But then you've got McLaurin, who's coming out of a postseason that they were never supposed to be in. And I feel like that caliber of leadership and skill and capability could push this team a little bit further than expected and really make the AFC East or the AFC as a whole that much more intriguing.
Oh my gosh, Case. They have 59, they as in the Patriots, $59 million in cap space.
So how do I get both?
How do we get both of these players?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Get them both. That's the answer, right? You have 59 million. The next closest team are the Lions, by the way. We should talk about this. The Lions, $48 million in cap space. They can afford Trey Hendrickson, and they need him.
See, that's the thing. There's about 2 or 3 actual contending teams that need that bullish defensive player, and they could go out, they could pay him, and they could potentially get him in the postseason or chase a ring.
And then you take pressure off Aiden Hutchinson, too, coming back from injury. And then you have, assuming he's okay, you have those two. Oh, my God. Patriots, you got to go get this guy. The last thing I want to see is him in a Lions uniform.
And he's used to playing and having a 1-2 punch in the mouth when it comes to defense, because we talked about Hubbard, the one other guy who was close to his numbers for a number of seasons. So
we'll open this debate up to you. Hendrickson or McLaurin, or both, option C.